Welcome back to the Three in the Paint podcast. Jeremiah Solmonson, Leo Biaz, and the one and only Mark Haynes in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another episode of Three in the Paint. We had some technical difficulties last week. Some footage may or may not have been deleted.
Right.
We don't talk about that, but we're back, and we're getting.
Did it happen on a Apple product?
It may have.
No,
yeah. It may have. I do have a MacBook, so it might have. But beside the point, we're talking NBA Finals today. Game 3 is on Wednesday. Game 2's already happened. The series is tied 1-1 miraculously. It should really be 2-0 OKC, but the series is tied 3-3. Tyrese Haliburton, obviously, with the shot heard around the world in Game 1. They go to Oklahoma City, or excuse me, now they travel. Now they'll be traveling for Game 3. But just an incredible shot in Game 1. Let's talk a little bit about Tyrese, his poise in Game 1. What have we seen through the series so far? What do you think, Mark?
What I think we've seen is a guy, look at this camera right here, is a guy who's he's showing the world who he really is. Everybody called him the most overrated player in the NBA, which is absolutely just disrespectful and ridiculous.
Players called him that, let's be clear.
His peers. And what I have to say about that is if I'm one of those players personally that said he's the most overrated player, and then he goes on this run, and I know I'm one of them guys that secretly voted, I'm coming out and saying my bad, bro, because just ridiculous.
You're putting a hand up, huh?
Yeah, I'm putting a hand up because I would feel like me, for instance, I wouldn't comment publicly or privately on another NBA reporter to say, oh, he's the sorriest reporter or whatever. And if I said it, I'm going to say it in front of everybody. It's not going to be a secret. I'm not throwing rocks and hiding. And that's what a lot of people are doing. Even if it is, because we don't know how many players, all they're saying is
so if he was overrated, would you be mad?
Survey.
If he was overrated?
Yeah, like would you be as upset because it was, like you said, secret?
If he's overrated, I would just say it. Like, I think I would just say it.
So for every vote, you want people's names next to the vote? Would you say?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If I'm gonna take part in it, I want mine. Just like when media votes for the MVP, it says exactly.
Who is it?
We knew Gary Washburn was the person that voted for Carmelo Anthony. Okay. Like we know, and then it turns into jokes.
So it holds some accountability to it. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not doing no poll that, I'm gonna say this about Leo, but I'm gonna do a pod with him and I'm not gonna say it. Like it could be teammates that voted him overrated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the whole list, I think it's garbage.
So what do you think it says about the players? Do you think it's jealousy? Do you think it's
I think it's not basketball. I think they just don't like him.
Because he's glazed by the national media and he gets more attention than he's actually performing up to?
It could be, and that would be valid. It's all right to not like a person. I liked when Chris Paul went to the Warriors. I liked when Draymond was like, y'all know how I feel about Chris Paul. I don't like him. But we're professionals. We go figure out how to do this, blah, blah, blah. Respect it. It wasn't like, man, I'm happy we got CP and we go be best buddies and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
it's
that's fair.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But back to Haliburton, man, what he's done all playoffs has been amazing. He's been clutch when the Pacers needed him to be clutch. He's been big time, and he's had some shortcomings or whatever. But that's just who he is. Is that overrated? Absolutely not.
Okay.
So what do you make of his Game 1 and Game 2 performances? If you take the Game 1 shot, if you take that out, which I know you can't because the game doesn't exist in a vacuum, but if you could, what do you think of his performances so far? Because a lot of people, including a lot of people that Bob Myers said he hasn't been great. Right. And I don't, I think that's pretty true for what we've seen. But it's kind of been his style. He gets going later in series and things. But what do you make of the first two games?
I think it's fair to say he hasn't been great in the first two games. I think he's been solid, especially when you look at how the Pacers play. Like, for instance, if this was Steve Nash, is anybody saying, Steve Nash is only scoring 14 points. He's only scoring 16 points. Nobody's saying that. They're figuring out other reasons to say why his team is struggling. I think Tyrese, I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that's going out and giving you 25 a night. Can he go get 25? Absolutely. He could go get 30. You know, he could go get 40. He could do it.
But if that's what this series calls for, which I think it does. I mean, he had 17 and 6 and then 14 and 6 in game 1. Points and assists. But I think this series, if they want to have any hope of beating the Thunder, which I think it's very clear the best team in basketball, he has to go get 25 a night, in my opinion.
You are 1,000% right, and that's why this series is over 5. That's why. But you know, it is what it is.
You've said a bunch of good things. I'm just trying to dissect how I'm going to say because
he's trying to just figure out how he's going to hate after what you just said. That's really what he's trying to figure out. Haliburton.
No, so I like the whole Steve Nash analogy because you're right about
nobody's ever going to say
no one's going to say
score 25.
He has to score 25. That's not right. But Tyrese has that in him, which I think Steve didn't. I don't think Steve was viewed as a superstar the way, to your point, how everybody glazes Tyrese.
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, players historically, they go on pause, they're like, how the hell does Steve win MVP twice? That's always been in question. So, like, he's never been viewed as a superstar. He was a very good player who happened to be on the best team in the NBA with those Suns, and he was the orchestrator of that. Tyrese is, at least in my opinion, he's been put on a different pedestal to where that label of superstar is on him. So I'm going to say this. I think Tyrese is the first of his kind where he should be considered as a superstar role player, meaning that
a role player?
Superstar role player, because far too many times he's had games where he's had 5 points, 7 points, 8 points. He just doesn't show up, and then he has a great. So a sign of a role player. Is he not
the best player on a team that's gone on the Pacers? It's gone to the finals.
Right. I don't think he's the best player on the Pacers for one.
Who do you think Pascal is?
I think it's a combination of certain guys, but yeah, if I had to vote for somebody,
no, an individual player. Who's the best player in the Pacers?
Siakam, yeah.
Well, that's a hot take.
No, I don't think it's a hot take. A true definition of a superstar is someone who shows up all year long and typically speaking is a number one option. Do you guys see him as a true number one option? Just
no.
Honestly.
No.
Okay, so by definition, that is what a superstar has been trained, has been put in our minds, right? He's not that. He's more of a Steve Nash.
So why do you say Tatum is the number one guy if you're not going to say Tyrese is?
Because Tatum's game is catered towards being a superstar. Like,
well, how is Tyrese's game not catered towards?
Because he's not averaging 20 points a game.
But he can get 20. He can get
Tatum
15
ain't scoring
and 15.
5 points in a game. I'm sorry.
Well, he has plenty of times.
Tyrese went into game 2 scoring 5 points. He had 12 points before he hit that game winner in game 1. He was awful in both games. Awful. No true number one is like Tyrese. Was my point. SGA had 34 points game 1.
So
if he doesn't have 34 points,
I'm with you on this.
Yes,
OKC would have gotten blown out.
Yes, but you're underestimating the value of
I'm talking
the Oklahoma
about what's
City
the definition
defense.
of a superstar.
Yes, but you're underestimating the value.
He's not
and
a real
impact.
superstar.
You're underestimating the impact of the Oklahoma City game plan.
Look how Edwards struggled against OKC.
Exactly.
Is he not a true number one option?
OKC
and Edwards don't have. First of all, Edwards don't have the nucleus that the Pacers have.
Here we go. More hate.
No. That's true, though. You cannot compare his nucleus with Tyrese's nucleus.
Okay, I agree.
His head coach and Rick Carlisle, Hall of Famer, arguably top 5 in history, compared to what the T-Wolves had. First of all, T-Wolves had Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. That in itself has a lot to do with a lot of why they struggled. But Tyrese Haliburton cannot have the games he's had, and he's had those games, even against the Knicks, even the previous against the Cavs. Like, he has such bad games that they're like such low games. Superstars don't have games like that. Might have one like once a season. This guy has too many of those games to be considered a real superstar is what I'm saying.
Well,
but he's so clutch. He's so clutch that you have to label him a superstar. Like, it's so crazy. He's the first of his kind to being a superstar role player.
No,
because he's so clutch.
He's the epitome of what everybody talked about when they said LeBron didn't have the clutch gene. When he didn't have the clutch gene and they was talking about, oh, Jordan had it, Kobe had it, this person had it. And it was like, I was always like, well, it's not like LeBron needs to hit a game winner because they're blowing teams out by 20.
LeBron was a two-way superstar.
Or whatnot.
Like in his heyday, though.
But I was like, LeBron, to get that opportunity to hit a game winner, you literally have to the game has to be close enough to get there. The Pacers keep the game close enough, and Tyrese shows how clutch he is.
Exactly.
Or whatever. So when he has which really was a 12-point game, but the game winner made it 14.
Right.
It's like an amazing thing or whatever. But no, it's not an amazing thing. It's that I think a lot of players.
He's clutch.
I think a lot of players in the NBA are clutch. A lot of players don't get the opportunity to show it.
See, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here for a second. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here for a second. It might take me like a minute to get through this, but I have been, I can't stand people who do this revisionist history BS and talk about like, everyone's the new thing in Sacramento is to be like, we have to stop talking about the Haliburton trade. The Kings clearly lost it. Everyone has to admit that the Kings lost the Haliburton trade.
Everybody turned on Sabonis.
Look, sure, but not only turned on Sabonis, turned on Fox, right? And understandably so, he no longer plays the organization, but that's no fault of his own. Mm-hmm. Look, I think De'Aaron Fox is a significantly better basketball player than Tyrese Haliburton. If you all-encompassing, this is not hate on Tyrese. It's specifically talking to the people that like, you just have to move on. Kings lost the Tyrese Fox, mixed or trade. They kept the wrong guy, right? That's the narrative. Mm-hmm. Fox had a tremendous series against his only playoff series. He had a tremendous series against the Golden State Warriors, almost game in and game out. And he took the Warriors to 7 games. It took a legacy game from Steph Curry to defeat the Kings. Mm-hmm. People need to stop with this narrative that somehow the fact that Tyrese has made it to the finals in the Eastern Conference and Fox is at home in San Antonio getting ready for next year, that this proves that that Fox is the guys that should have been moved from the Kings. It doesn't prove anything. Like the Pacers built around Tyrese, the Kings did not, and then the Kings shipped him out and got very little in return from him. And now we're running the Bulls. The
they
Bulls of the West
more
Coast
short
back.
Point guards,
right? But I think history will play out. Pacers are not winning the finals this year. I'm just going to say that. I think we all agree. Mm-hmm. I think De'Aaron Fox will win a chip before Tyrese Haliburton wins a chip.
Now let's be fair on that or whatever. With De'Aaron going to San Antonio, teaming up with Wemby, I expect him to have an opportunity to win a chip.
That's fair.
But OKC is still way better than San Antonio is.
I said I expect him to have a chance.
That's fair.
Nobody expected the Pacers to even be here.
That's true.
Period. So I don't think that's a good, way to compare De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Haliburton. I think I agree the Pacers are built for Tyrese. I think if Tyrese stayed in Sacramento, if the trade never happened, let's just say that the trade never happened, I don't think we see the greatness of Tyrese Haliburton because you didn't see it here. He didn't really. The Kings had him coming off the bench and stuff. Me personally,
well, he had a lot of those bad games that I'm talking about, which he still has those bad games.
What if you?
That's the crazy thing. Like he still has those games
right now.
He just had one yesterday.
But right now, bad games included.
Yeah.
Right now, he's had a better career than De'Aaron Fox.
Sure, absolutely. Based on the opportunity.
Whatever it is, the team. It's guys that they get in the right situation. Does it mean he's the better player?
Right.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Fair.
But he's had the better career. And that's the one thing you can say in my mind.
You can't take away from him, yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
But if I'm a GM and if I was running the Kings when I had Tyrese Haliburton, I don't care the low scoring games or whatever. I'm not trading a 6'7" point guard who can really, really play point guard. Because what happened when you got rid of him? You got too small. You got shooting guards that's 6'2", 6'1". He's a point guard at 6'7", even if you bring in a guy that's smaller.
Though. He's a cone, though, so it don't matter to me.
Tyrese. Who's been great on defense as a guard outside of Davion Mitchell for the Kings.
I mean, De'Aaron has moments.
De'Aaron has a lot of moments.
Do I care?
De'Aaron could be a lockdown defender when you need him to be.
Yeah.
When you need him to be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
just like
clutch.
LeBron. Just like LeBron.
That's like clutch, which means nothing. I need to be in that
LeBron.
situation.
When LeBron needed to step up, and I'm not saying De'Aaron is LeBron. Let's clear the air on that.
Right.
But just like LeBron, when LeBron needed to step up and play defense to win a game or to win a series, and he could do it all game, he would do that. And De'Aaron did the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, De'Aaron gave up at the end of his tenure in Sacramento.
So in that case, you would say De'Aaron, you guys would say De'Aaron is clutch on defense, but Tyrese is clutch on offense.
Well, De'Aaron's
clutch on offense.
De'Aaron's clutch player of the year.
No, I'm saying, but y'all
said,
because he doesn't play defense for 4 quarters. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
He shows up.
Tyrese never plays defense, but okay.
Ever. I think we could disagree with that. I think
his own teammate will cook him, which is TJ McConnell.
like he cooked Fox in them.
Sure.
So what are we talking?
So
what are we talking about?
TJ McConnell ain't cooking Fox. That's crazy.
I have a question for you.
That's crazy.
Fox had given up by that point anyway, so let's just be clear. So
hey, we could call it like in the day, spades and spades.
Well, not really.
I don't gotta give no excuses for Tyrese Haliburton.
I mean, I don't know. It's
he
like
is what he is.
Well, okay, yeah, but what
Two straight bad games in the finals. That's
curious,
exactly what it is.
He's in the finals.
If you take Tyrese
in the East,
he's won multiple series in the playoffs.
Last year, everybody was injured.
He's made it to the playoffs.
That's the reason why they made it last year, because everybody was injured.
Every year?
This year, Tatum got injured for one.
He every year since Pacers hasn't he been in the playoffs?
That's one year they missed, right?
Did he miss one?
The first year?
First year.
I think they missed. Anyways, I'm curious what you think, Mark. If you take Tyrese and swap him with De'Aaron, do you think the Pacers are in the finals?
If you swap
De'Aaron and Tyrese, do you think the Pacers are still in the finals? And do you think if De'Aaron was on the Pacers instead of Tyrese, they have a better chance of winning the finals?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
No,
I disagree. I think the Pacers would have a greater chance of winning the finals if they had De'Aaron Fox instead of Tyrese Haliburton.
I don't, because the only reason
no hate on Tyrese.
No, it's no hate on hate on Fox. The reason I say no if Fox is on the Pacers have gotten to this point by being such a team, like the team chemistry.
Sure.
You know, the ball moves.
Yeah.
There is no one-on-one play. If De'Aaron is on that team, it'll be a lot of one-on-one play.
That's not true either, because De'Aaron never really got a chance to play one-on-one here. The whole argument is that
who did he pass to?
No, it's not.
How many assists?
I don't know about that, Mark, but
this offense is built around Sabonis, though. Like the offense,
but when he gets the ball,
the offense starts with Sabonis in the half court, though.
It runs through Sabonis. I don't know if it's built around Sabonis, but it runs through Sabonis. You're right about that. The offense is not really built around either of them, which is why it failed. Like they were too small to protect Fox and let Fox do what he did and not have to do these roles that he isn't built for. And the same thing with Domas. They didn't have length and wing athleticism and defense to cover up Domas'
only works as an offensive hub.
Defense.
That's what an offensive hub is you start
that's
everything
where he shines
through
the
him.
most. That's where he shines the most. But the Kings didn't build around him. They didn't build
that's
around
how they build around him.
That's how he gets stats though, because you have to build things around him, is what I'm saying. He has to start. He has to initiate the offense.
That's how he gets stats.
Yeah, because he gets the
He'll
ball.
get those stats anywhere. That just ain't impactful.
Yeah. No, those are two different things. But I'm saying like his whole dribble handoffs and stuff. That's built for him, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like you initiate the offense through him by him touching the ball every fucking possession. Is like, here you go. Like that's what he's doing. Tyrese is like, go. Tyrese is like, go. See what I'm saying? Like it's rolling.
Yeah, it's a different type of offense, totally.
And Fox can play it. Fox played like that for years.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing.
Like we're saying that he's saying that he can't play like that,
but they weren't good. It wasn't good.
Well, he had Marvin Bagley for fuck's sakes.
I mean come on. We can call it. We can call it whatever we want to call it.
He has Miles Turner. He has Spicy P. That's crazy, bro. Come on.
Every situation, it's like, oh, he had this.
He has one of the best shot blockers in Miles Turner. He has.
Hold on, Mark.
Come on.
You're just.
Come on.
You're wrong about that, bro. you got to put a hand up on that one. You can't.
That's crazy.
This is a team sport. You have 5 men on the floor at any given time.
He has some good players.
You can't say that.
I'm wrong about the Pacers. I'll say that. I'll give you that. The Pacers nucleus is good.
Hold on. You can't say that Fox having Tyrese Tyrese having all the pieces he has around him is the same with Fox and Marvin.
No. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that.
And probably, I forgot. He had Prime HB. Never mind.
Oh, shit.
Discussion over.
He had another player that made it to the NBA Finals.
It was the vibes.
Vince Carter?
It was the vibes.
Harrison Barnes was in the NBA Finals.
Hey, he had Mr. What was it with Iman Shumpert?
Hold on. Let's stop the disrespect. Let's go back to game one of this season. Game one of this season. Who was better, the Kings or the Pacers? Who did y'all think was better, Kings or Pacers?
The Kings on paper.
Game one. I don't hear on paper.
The Kings on paper.
The Kings. We had game one. We don't know. So the Kings were better.
Of the regular season.
So you thought they had a better team.
I did.
But they did not. And why?
Sabonis.
Whatever. You can say that.
Sabonis got his coach fired.
Look.
His coach fired.
My coach, what do you mean? Mike
He
Brown.
loves Mike.
I do love Mike, and Mike was done dirty in Sacramento. Let's just be clear about that. But
by who? Let's call it spade for spade.
I'm not. Go ahead, you teed yourself up.
Sabonis.
Wait, I thought he was going somewhere else. He said Sabonis. Bro says Sabonis is the problem for everything. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So lots of impassioned debate about Tyrese and where he fits in the plans, and Fox, Tyrese, who's great, things like that. But what I want to get down to is the brass tacks. Game 3 of the finals on Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Them early times be kicking my butt.
Yeah, it is kind of tough, but I don't mind them. You get to bed nice and early, and for us old people, it's it's kind of nice. But
this guy.
So I want, before we do buy or sell, y'all better be thinking about buy or sell. I think I already know yours, Mark. You clown buy or sell. But I want the predictions for the rest of the series. So it's currently tied at 1. I'll go first. I think it's a gentleman's sweep, and I think OKC wins in 5. If not, OKC wins in 6.
No, it's 5 or 6. Which one? 5?
I think OKC wins in 5, but if not, it'll be 6. But my prediction's 5.
We gotta pick one.
My prediction's 5. Is that good enough for you?
Thank you.
Fine game.
Thank you. Because the only thing I think that matters is when do OKC want to win it? Do they want to win the first chip in OKC? If that's the case, it'll be 6. But just by looking at what's going on, it's 5.
I'm going to give the Pacers more credit. I believe they steal 3 or 4.
You know how they do that?
Oh.
You know how they do that?
Oh.
Tyrese Haliburton.
That's true, but he's
That's
got to put more than 17 and 6 up.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
So
if they get 3 or 4, it'll be a huge game by Nembhard and Spicy P.
Nembhard?
Not from Tyrese. So
Nembhard is nice.
Thunder in 6. They'll win it in Indiana. I'm hoping the SGA goes like this.
If they win in 6, it'll be in OKC.
I'm hoping the SGA goes like this to Tyrese.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. So hold on. No, I'm talking about it's over in 5. Yeah, it's over in 5. So
in
game
OKC
5.
Is
yeah,
in OKC.
6.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, 5. It's
right,
done
because
in 5.
OKC started at home, so it'll be 4 and come back.
Yeah,
okay.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Bad math.
Okay, so OKC in 5 for us, OKC in 6 for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
In
well,
Indiana.
I think either of those are possible. If what will I do if the Pacers win the finals?
I know what y'all better do.
What?
Apologize
What are
to
you talking
Tyrese Haliburton. Because if they won,
you weren't
even the Eastern Conference MVP.
I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him. Talk to Leo. I'm not hating on him.
Neither was Tatum. But if they won,
someone mentioned Jason
So last
Tatum.
year, and now that his guy isn't the MVP.
I got the green light today too.
yeah,
Oh my
perfect
gosh.
timing.
Oh man,
If he won, that'd be crazy.
is that one of the greatest finals achievements ever?
I think this. All right, real quick.
Small market.
I think this is one of the greatest individual runs in the playoff ever.
Oh please. Oh my lord.
The luckiest, yeah.
Oh
for
my.
sure.
Oh.
Game winner each round.
I'm sick.
Right.
I'm
crazy.
sick. I'm sick
never
to my
been
stomach.
done.
No, I'm
It's
sick
crazy.
to my stomach.
You know what I'm saying?
That has more to do with the other teams just
disrespectful.
lollygagging.
Just
No, you get
disrespectful.
that's true. That's
No.
true.
It's true.
If you give him a chance, he's gonna make you pay.
That's just disrespectful to finals history, though, to say that.
I'm just saying,
This
man.
is not one of the greatest runs in finals. in
Nobody-
basketball
the reason I
history.
say
No
that-
one's going
the
to remember
reason-
this team because next year they're going back to being the Pacers.
But back to the conference finals?
No,
Because what's
they're
this?
not.
Ain't this 2 years in a row?
Yeah, sure.
So where they going?
No one remembers you if you don't win the chip.
Yeah. Don't remember the Kings in the 0-2. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't remember.
You know why they don't remember?
Because the NBA and the referees. I mean, they did. They completely
we were children. He was still in the womb.
Yeah, he was.
What year?
02.
We're talking about the. I wasn't in the womb.
You were.
No, I wasn't, bro. I was 4 years
You're a
old.
Gen X. You're a Gen. What is he? A Gen Alpha?
I lost track.
I don't even know what the.
I'm Gen Z or millennial. However you want to slice it. However you want to slice. Born in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. You were born in the 90s.
99?
98.
Damn,
you made it.
You were born in the 90s.
You made it.
Now you might be an 80s.
Yeah,
kid,
I'm 80s.
But you
I'm
were
80s.
born in the 90s. I know that much. So you can't be talking at all. But all right, we're moving on to our buy or sell segment. I'll go first. For the buy or sell, you guys need to be thinking. But it's getting out of hand. Look, the buy or sell segment, we're just supposed to talk about things, that we like or that we don't like, but. So there's just something that's just getting out of hand, and I gotta put a stop to it. I gotta put a stop to it. But I'm not going to, because I'm gonna do a positive buy or sell segment. I'm buying wristwatches. Now I know a lot of you, might not wear them or might not know a lot about them, or whatever. But I'm a wristwatch nerd. I love wristwatches. Now the thing I love about wristwatches is you don't have to be money bags. But you could be if you have the money, but you don't have to be. You can get really high quality watches with great movements, automatic watches for under $500. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously you can go, you want APs or, you want Rolexes, you want, whatever. You can go into the thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions for a watch. I'm buying wristwatches and I think it's something that can unite everyone. It can unite the population between super rich, not rich, everyone just enjoying a nice little watch. And that's what I'm buying, is wristwatches.
Hold on. Since you're buying, I'm sitting there, I'm like, is you going to hand us some watches?
I was thinking that.
Oh, no.
Oh,
he's talking about Unity and shit. I'm like, what?
Here you go.
Where's
I
he
was like,
going with this?
This is,
yeah, me too. I'm very generous of him.
That's crazy.
All right, thank you. But,
no. Maybe I will. Maybe I will in the future.
Father's Day is on the way. So
That's true.
That's what I
you know what?
Look at
these guys. Jeez. They expect me to buy them watches.
Father's Day is on the way.
Viewers, did you all think we were getting
100%.
watches today?
What are you talking about?
100%.
What happened with SGA won MVP? He got everybody watches. You
not even loaded, bro.
Or something.
That's crazy,
man.
You owe me a case.
Yeah.
You owe me a case.
Do I? Yeah, who is it?
Because the Grizzlies were not top 6 in the West.
Ridiculous.
I'm next. I'm selling on the sorry as A's manager for saying
whoa,
for saying that.
Whoa.
For saying
hold on.
wait.
I'm gonna talk to this man,
for saying that.
I'm gonna talk to this man.
Playing in Sacramento at Sutterfield, that it's a disadvantage to that sorry ass team, and that's my team. But I'm like, why is everybody else thriving when they come to Sac and hit a ton of home runs? I know your pitching staff sucks. You ain't got no bullpen. You ain't got no starters for one. Even Sevy's struggling this year.
Bro, you don't have to talk to this man on a daily basis for my work. You're making my life very difficult. He's gonna watch this 3 in the paint and see that my co-host said he's what did you say? Sorry ass manager or something?
Mark
Kotze's a good manager. I'm defending the honor of Mark
exaggerated Mark Kotze.
What did Mark say about that? When did Mark say this?
He said that it's a disadvantage. It's like this whole, oh my God, we're playing in Sacramento. We can't win games.
No, Luis Severino said that.
You ain't losing games because you're playing in Sac. You're losing games because you're not good. Stop it.
We have a 10+ bullpen ERA. That doesn't help, but.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
that ain't got nothing to do with playing in Sacramento,
Mark Kotze never blamed Sacramento.
He did, and I'm going to send you the damn quote.
All right, send me the quote.
Of what he said.
If the quote exists, I'll roll it right here.
Thank you.
But it doesn't exist, so there's nothing
going on. That's a good one right there. That was a good crash out, buy or sell. And
he's next.
y'all think I'm selling these today, but I needed to work, so I ain't.
I love that.
I ain't gonna go in on. But what I am buying, I guess I'll do a pleasant one, and nobody's getting a gift right now. I owe you a case of booze. But no.
Where's the wink, by the way? I've been waiting on this wink.
It's on the counter. It's
wink.
literally, both of them are on the counter. I walked out trying to get here on time. You guys were late.
Well, look at that. You didn't accomplish
You guys
either
were
of them.
late as always.
You didn't bring
I
the
was
wink.
waiting.
You didn't bring the
I
wink.
was waiting down street.
And you didn't show up on time. Wow. Oh, holy man. Let's clap it up for Mark Haynes.
Thank you.
Overachieving, my
Thank you. Thank you. I feel the love. But I am buying. I'm selling Father's Day.
Oh, goodness.
That's what I'm doing.
You just bought Father's at the park like 2 months ago.
I am, and I'm selling Father's Day because I just went in Rite Aid, right? And Rite Aid, a lot of them are closing down.
I was going to say,
right?
do they still exist? I haven't been to Rite Aid in like 20 years.
They're closing. They're going out of business like everywhere.
Right.
However, it's Father's Day. At least have some Father's Day stuff somewhere. It's empty shelves.
Yeah.
You can throw just a Happy Dad shirt or something or whatever. Like, anywhere.
I don't know where he's going with this.
I've been in Target.
Was he buying right now?
I'm selling. I'm selling Father's Day because that's what they doing. That's what the world is doing. Who cares about us fathers? Who cares about us good dads? Okay. Target.
I'm kind of
I ain't seen nothing but toys.
Hey, I appreciate you.
You didn't even give me no watch. That's how much they care.
You know what you can give him? A Happy Dad.
Why do I have to give him a gift? He's not my dad.
Well, Happy Dad is
He's
what
not
a beer.
my father.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mark Haynes is my dad.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But
he's not my dad. Why am I getting you guys gifts? Neither of you are my dad.
I don't want no
My
gifts.
dad is Brian Salmonson, the head of the house when I was at home. Not Leo Beers or Mark Haynes. I don't know what this is about.
You know, y'all can, they can see the resemblance between me and you. They can tell
you squat real hard.
Yeah,
it's called human etiquette,
my
okay?
blood is rolling through. That's it.
It's called human etiquette, okay?
But I'm
Shout out
selling
Nehemiah, though. I hope Nehemiah gets dad something good for Father's Day.
I hope not, son. Just do your thing. Everybody, I just want everybody to just leave me be and let me enjoy Father's Day as a father. The best gift I could get is quiet. Just peace and quiet. I just want to sleep.
Peace and quiet. Just like it's going to be peace and quiet in Indiana as soon as the Pacers lose in 5 games. This is the Three of the Pain podcast. Jeremiah Salmonson, not my dad, Leo Biz, and not my dad, Mark Haynes. And we'll be back with another episode. Stay tuned.